In this video, I'm going to be going over the Absco IXPay EMV P2PE upgrade. This is going to be upgrading the dispensers at Safeway Albertsons locations from the 2.8 EMV software to the 3.1 software using SCDs. A big part of this upgrade is going to be first upgrading the firmware of the C105S NP reader and then converting it to a C105S reader. Prior to starting the upgrade, make sure to get a diagnostic printout from each fueling position and ensure that the contactless firmware is at least 2610FA02. If it is not, it will not be able to be upgraded and will need to be replaced. The first step of this upgrade process is going to be upgrading the firmware of the C105S NP card reader. So first go ahead and open 2.8 EMV IX configurator, select Infonet, Customer Safeway. Make sure that you have the latest 2.8.202.24 software. Check the portal to make sure you have the latest release, and then go ahead and click Next. Alright, we're not going to be using any IP information, so you can click Next through this all the way to the build. Go ahead and build your thumb drive, and we'll jump over to the dispenser and go through the next steps. Okay, once you've built your generic 2.8, you're going to load it into the dispenser. When it gets to the service utility screen, you're going to hit Software Upgrade, Firmware. You're going to go to Contactless Firmware. And you want to make sure you're going from the 2610FA02 to the 200730001. That's what we're looking for, so go ahead and hit Upgrade. All right, when this is done, we'll go to the next step. Once the first upgrade is complete, put the USB thumb drive into your laptop and navigate to the firmware folder. Next, you're going to click on the contactless reader firmware. Now you're going to select all of the files below the C150 SMP folder, and we're going to delete them. Once that's done, we're going to navigate to the C105S folder. Next, we're going to be copying all of these files by first selecting them, hitting Control-A, and then we'll use Control-C to copy them. Navigate back to the root and use Control-V to paste the files. Now we're ready to perform the second step of the upgrade. Okay, so after you've made your altered 2.8 thumb drive, load it back in the dispenser, let it load into the service utility. Again, you're going to go to Software Upgrade, Firmware, Contactless Reader, and now you're going to see that we have the 2.2122701, which we upgraded to last time, and we're going to be going to the 2.11.22401. Don't be freaked out by the fact that this is a lower version. That is how it's supposed to be. So go ahead and upgrade it. When we're done with that, we'll be ready to load the 3.1 software. Now that the card reader has been converted to a C150S, we are ready to load the 3.1 software. So get your IX configurator open and make sure you select the IXPay 1 hardware P2PE SCD. Next, we're going to make sure we have Jadeboard and dual VGA selected. POS vendor is going to be Infonet, and our customer is going to be Absco. Make sure you have the 3.1.208.180 that was released March 2023, at least at the time of this recording. Check the portal to make sure there's not newer software and click Next. Right, now you're going to be putting in the dispenser IP, which will be provided by Safeway, just the first 3 octets. Next, we're going to put our offset, which is going to be 228. After this, you'll put your subnet mask, which will also be provided by Safeway. And then you'll do your gateway, which again will be provided by Safeway. We're not going to be using DNS. Click Next. We're going to set the terminal to client, and we're going to check Secure SSL. For the server IP pointing to, this is going to be the IP of the L1, which you will get from Safeway. Next, you're going to change the port to 4000. This is going to be for fueling position 1. Fueling position 2 will be 4001. Fueling position 3 will be 4002, so on and so on. I strongly recommend that you bring enough thumb drives to do all fueling positions at the site and that you number them so that you build the correct thumb drive for the correct dispenser. Once you're done with this, click Next. Now in here we're going to put the IP address for the DX monitor, and we are not going to change the connection port. Again, this IP address will be get from Safeway. Again, you're going to use the DX monitor IP address on this page, and also we are not going to change the port. Once done, select the type of the dispenser that you're working on. In this case, it's a B123, and click Next. All right, now you're ready to build the thumb drive. Once it's done, we'll be ready to power down the dispenser, install the SCD, Okay, so after doing both of your contactless firmware upgrades, you're ready to install your SCD. First step you're going to do is on the side of your printer, you're going to loosen these two screws here. You're then going to take the included SCD bracket. This is simply going to slide over those two screws, drop it down, and tighten it up. Next, you're going to take your SCD with the label upside down and just set it in there using the included screws. Install it. And now you're ready to install your cables. I forgot to film the cable installation, but it's very simple. Essentially, you're going to take the cable that goes from the SPM to the IX Jade board, unplug it from the Jade board, and plug it into the SCD. You're then going to use the included USB cable that came with the SCD and go from the SCD to the Jade board. Next, you'll use the 2-pin power connector that goes from the SCD to any open 2-pin port on either the SPM or on the power distribution board. Now you're ready to insert your thumb drives and power the dispenser on. Okay, once you've built your 3.1 thumb drive, again, put it in the dispenser, let it launch into the IX service utility. You're going to notice it looks different now. The whole UI has changed, so don't worry about that. But we're just going to go to software upgrade. We're going to go to IX. Going to wait a second, and it's going to pop up a screen, and you're going to say go ahead and upgrade. Now be aware this process can take 30 to 40 minutes, and the loading screens are going to be completely different than any of the 2.8 or previous versions. So okay, this is the first big change. So obviously our terminal is not going to be 0, so we're going to hit yes to change. And now we're going to use these number increments to set our fueling position. So if you've ever configured a T7 or a T12, you may be familiar with this. In this case, we're just going to hit the +1 2 times to get our fueling position, number 2, and hit confirm. Now we're going to tell it if we're side A or side B. We are on side B, so we're going to change and then confirm. That is our correct time, so we're going to hit no to change the date and time. So you used to say enable iSense, yes or no. That is now changed. It says enable DX monitor, yes or no. We are going to hit yes. Are we using an iGEM? Yes, we are. We do not need to mirror the soft keys. We are using a serial, and we are not using any media. At this point, just hit confirm and tell it we're ready to reset. And that is it.